Black people know things white people don't. Before I go on, you can check my video notes for the references I used to create this video.
What up, what up, what up? It's your homeboy B Watt, and you are now tuned in to another episode of Cancel B Watt. And in this episode, I'm going to be discussing this video that I ran across a few weeks ago, posted by this Caucasian lady. This video immediately caught my attention, the title, and I was just very interested in her perspective about this subject matter. She is discussing white people and their perceptions, knowledge, and information regarding racism, Black history, civil rights, and also the history of slavery in America. Now, my first thoughts were, now why are these people acting like they ain't know what was going on all of a sudden? You know, it does seem a tad bit disingenuous, but I digress for just a moment, and let's take a listen at what this woman has to say.
Generations of white Americans were raised with a story that made us feel like heroes. We learned about abolitionists, not about the banks that provided insurance on enslaved people. We learned about the civil rights movement, but not about the white mobs who terrorized black families for trying to move into a better neighborhood. Systemic racism didn't just hurt black people, although they were the ones that took most of it, but it also misinformed white people, and that pisses me off.
Okay. Real talk, I'm so confused right now. Can someone please help me to understand why this woman is talking about racism like it's something that happened to black and white people? And if you know the answer to that, please don't respond. Just allow me to continue my facetious line of questioning. But anyways, why is this woman acting like somebody else besides white people were actually the ones who enslaved black people, and white people didn't know what in the world was going on? I want to know from this woman what or who is the it that misled or misinformed white people about systemic racism. I want to understand how they could say they didn't know what was going on when we black people were standing right in front of them, directly challenging them and pleading really for them to change. She confused, I'm confused, and you probably confused too.
It trained us to see unfairness and injustice as progress. That's why when black folks talk about redlining, medical racism, or why certain laws hit their communities so much harder, many white people are just confused, or worse, and probably more commonly, they're defensive. It's not just ignorance, it's conditioning. The system made sure we didn't see the whole picture.
Okay. White lawmakers, white bankers, white real estate agents, and white federal officials were directly responsible for creating and enforcing redlining in the United States of America. White people drew the maps. White people denied the mortgage loans. White people maintained this corrupt system. Also, like she just said, if a black family was able to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and make it out of the hood and into a decent quality neighborhood, then white people put on white hoods and, as she said, terrorized black folks. Even the woman running the Homeowners Association today, who obsesses about every detail, even she too carries the same spirit of control and exclusion that once was used to draw the red lines around our communities. The same system of control that allowed white officials to draw these red lines around our community was mirrored in our hospitals and clinics, where white doctors denied care, experimented on, and devalued Black lives. And now in 2025, this woman wants us to accept that white people were just conditioned, that someone else brainwashed them into these acts of control and exclusion, that the system that they have taken full credit for creating actually didn't allow them to see the whole picture. As if history itself was not written by white hands.
Because once we did, we might start asking too many questions. White people need to hear the truth from people who live it. But that takes a toll on Black people. They've had to survive what we've only begun to learn about. And it's not fair to put that burden on them. That's why I study, listen, and talk to other white folks. It's not about guilt, and it's not about blame. It's about repair. Black people already know this history. White people need to know it too, because it's our history.
Okay. This woman identifies herself as a white woman. Because if she was like Spanish or Mexican or something like that, I could possibly accept this logic. Because many of those very nice people were not here when it happened. Therefore, I do believe that many of them are just now starting to learn about what happened to Black people during slavery. I recently had a Spanish woman who I was discussing ICE with, but she was very much confused, thinking that Black Americans were immigrants just like them. But nonetheless, this woman is a white woman, and she has absolutely no excuse for not knowing, quote unquote, what happened to Black people. So let me say this right now. White people, we are not going to allow you to act like you do not know the truth about what happened during American slavery and civil rights. No. Stop that. This woman is talking about white people are going to start asking too many questions. I want to know who you going to ask the questions to, ma'am. How is it that your people put my people through all of this, and now that it's all said and done, y'all gonna sit back and say that y'all are only just beginning to learn about what Black people have always known? They still think we slow, y'all. This is high-level manipulation. The truth of the matter is that white people should feel guilty. White people do deserve the blame because it's mostly y'all fault. And if you're the least bit sincere in this video, then you should get all of your people to do their part, to repair it. Yes. Shout out to the Josephite priesthood, by the way, who stepped in as white people to assist the repair of my community. And as a Black man, I can say that I'm better off because of them.
It's our history too. Silence keeps the system working in the way that is unjust. Don't be afraid. You should be mad about what was kept from you on purpose. Now you have the opportunity to learn about it and start organizing your life differently. I am not an expert, but I love learning. You can put my username into your search engine. Scroll down if you want to help me out. You guys are the greatest. Get curious.
I tried to give her a chance, everybody. You know, she said that somebody kept something from them. And now, in 2025, white people finally have the chance to learn about what they did to Black people. This type of dialogue is completely devoid of responsibility or accountability. It sounds like another attempt to rewrite history. And listen, Black people, or just people in general, American people, we can no longer stand for this type of manipulative rhetoric. I don't know if this woman is being sincere or not, but God bless her anyways. If you enjoy this type of real conversation, please visit www.cancelby.com for more exclusive content and discussion. And as always, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Cancel BY.